Azerbaijan government's appeal against European Court of Human Rights decision on Enel Fethullayev was not fulfilled. The European Court decision demands Enel Fethullayev's immediate release. Today our guests are lawyer Rashid Hajili and the editor-in-chief of Gundelik Azerbaijan newspaper Shahveled Chobanoglu. Welcome to our studio. Thank you. Why does the Azerbaijan government ignore the European Court decision? Enel Fethullayev is still in prison. The formal argument is that the European Court decision has not taken force. The decision takes force within 3 months after the decision adopted if none of the parties file a complaint. But the Azerbaijan government used its right to complaint, but its complaint was rejected on October 4th. So the 3 months period has expired and the decision has taken force. And it's weird that Azerbaijan government waited for 3 months. Each day of Enel Fethullayev in prison was a violation of his rights. It would be much more expedient to release Enel Fethullayev as soon as the decision was adopted. Why doesn't the Azerbaijan government release Enel? What are the political reasons? It's not a secret for even ordinary citizens that the Azerbaijan government tries to strangle press and fully restrict freedom of expression. And by keeping Enel Fethullayev in prison, they want to demonstrate that they can do anything they want. But Enel Fethullayev demonstrated proof that he is not afraid of anything. He even wrote articles in the prison, and even in the court trials, he condemned the authorities, and he repeatedly stated that he will continue his journalistic activity when he is released. He also stated in a court hearing that he has rejected multiple proposals made by the authorities. Enel Fethullayev's case was considered in 2 courts, in the First Instance Court and the Court of Appeals, and as a number of judges considered Enel's case, we cannot speak of any mistake, and it proves that the Azerbaijan authorities aim to demonstrate to the citizens that they even can stop the brave people in this way. In December 2009, narcotics was found on Enel Fethullayev, and another criminal case was opened against him. What can you say about this? It was expected that the European Court of Human Rights will issue such a decision, and this another accusation against him aimed to delay the European Court of Human Rights decision. And this accusation forms a basis to keep Enel Fethullayev in prison even after the implementation of European Court of Human Rights. And if you take into consideration this narcotics charge, do you think that European Court of Human Rights decision on immediate release can be implemented? It's possible from the legal perspective because the Gundelik District Court, which considered the narcotics charge, didn't sentence Enel Fethullayev into pre-trial detention. Therefore, detention of Enel Fethullayev is violation of his right to freedom. As he was not sentenced to pre-trial detention, he must be immediately released. Only after the appeals court found him guilty for narcotics charge and the decision takes force, he can again be detained in prison. But for today, there is no decision on pre-trial detention of Enel Fethullayev, so he must be in freedom present. Enel Fethullayev was an editor and he was imprisoned. And why the Gundelik Azerbaijan and Real Azerbaijan newspapers were closed? Who closed these newspapers and why? You know that 3 law enforcement agencies assaulted our office. The Azerbaijan government used different leverages to fire us from our office. First, it was claimed that the building was useless, dangerous. Then the fire extinguishers came. And finally, the National Security Ministry opened a criminal case and all the employees of these newspapers, including Enel Fethullayev, was questioned. Later, as you know, we searched new office to continue our work. Then all our bank accounts were frozen. All the computers in the editorial office, the tape recorders of the journalists were seized. Enel Fethullayev has launched a hunger strike in prison in a protest to the defiance of European Court of Human Rights decision. You also have joined this hunger strike, and what is your aim, your slogans, and how long will the hunger strike last? We launched this hunger strike in support of Enel Fethullayev. It's our moral moral duty as his colleague. It's not only support to any left law, but it's also support to freedom of expression. It's a protest to restriction of freedom of expression. How many journalists have joined this hunger strike? Who are they? Journalist Gundelik, the employee of Yükseliş Namine newspaper, and I joined this hunger strike. A number of people have appealed to us to join the hunger strike, but we have not found a place to continue this hunger strike yet, but we should find. And what about the public protection of Enol Fethullayev? You know that international organizations have declared him a prisoner of conscience and demanded his release, and also local intellectuals protect him. If we relate imprisonment of Enol Fethullayev to the weakness of the public protection, it would be putting the Azerbaijani government, Azerbaijani authorities out of responsibility. All international organizations did their best. Also, some local intellectuals rose in support of Enol Fethullayev. Enol Fethullayev was awarded with a number of high prizes. Also, European Council resolutions demanded Enol Fethulleyev's release. Finally, there was a court decision, the European Court of Human Rights decision. Do you think that the Azerbaijan government will release Enol Fethullayev? Because the Azerbaijan judge in European Court of Human Rights has stated that the government will surely implement this decision. Do you believe in it? I hope the Azerbaijan government will release him, because it's not only evaluated as the violation of Enol Fethulleyev's rights, and not only strangling of press freedom. It's also a defiance of European Court of Human Rights decision and the commitments, international commitments. You know, it's not a recommendation made by any international organization that can be implemented or not, but it's a decision of European Court of Human Rights, and the implementation of this decision cannot be argued. And as lawyers, we take necessary measures too. We filed a lawsuit against the penitentiary service of the Justice Ministry in the Nasimi District Court because it detains Enol Fethullayev without any court decision. Thank you for coming to our studio.